Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 127 of TheSeezusShow. Glad to be back. Just want to rehash with you guys episode 126. Carl, Conyers, and Terrence Whaley and myself discussed top trades before the deadline and much, much more. I know you guys missed us, and we are going to deliver some fire content your way as well, too. So just make sure to subscribe on all forms of social media at TheSeezusShow. We can go ahead and get into it. But before we get into it, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for my co-host, Terrence Whaley.
What up? What's going on, y'all?
And ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for my other co-host, Carl Conyers.
What's good, y'all? Glad to be back.
How you fellas living, man? It's been a while. What y'all been on?
Man, really just working hard. And trying to stay out this rain. I don't like this rain at all. This is the most rainy it's been in LA, I think, in my 4 years here. So I think right now I'm glad, we about to daylight savings time about to start. Get that 7 p.m. sunset, so get to see the sun. And then really just came back from Costa Rica, my anniversary actually.
Still got the 10
last year. So it's been a year in my relationship. That was cool. Now I'm about to go to Atlanta next weekend for my brother's wedding.
Oh damn!
So yeah, I've been doing some traveling, but other than that, it's been cool, bro. Watching basketball.
Feel it.
What about you, Carl?
Damn, not that much. No, I feel you. I've been, working. Honestly, that's really the biggest thing. One of our artists is getting ready to do South by next weekend, so just getting ready for that.
Dope. Yeah, I mean, mine pretty much head down. Been grinding, making connections whenever I can, but just kind of utilizing every day and not taking it for granted and kind of realizing what my purpose is and just being specific with what I want each and every single day. So I've been kind of moving like a machine and obviously giving myself a little bit of time to relax and whatnot, but grind literally don't stop as well too. So yeah, I'm straight. I'm ready to get straight into it. So we can go ahead and get started, man. Ja Morant shenanigans. Obviously the whole world knows Ja Morant went on IG Live about, was it last week? A week and a half ago nowadays. It was after the Denver Nuggets game. Apparently he was at a club over there, at a strip club, and pointed a gun in his IG Live video, caught a lot of slack, ended up disabling his comments, and immediately got at least a minimum of a 3-game suspension, I believe. And then from there, I think he's suspended indefinitely now as well, too. He came out with a statement, essentially apologized for his actions and owned up to it as well. Obviously, a lot of the OGs had some things to, kind of add to it, to chime in, to give their 2 cents, give their advice and whatnot as well, too. So just one of those things where, you're just kind of young, got a lot of money, you're not surrounding yourself, with the best form of people that are, good to your well-being in general as well, too. So kind of crazy, they've been missing a lot of, he's missed a lot of games, but they've been losing in a lot of those games as well, too. Obviously, they just beat the Golden State Warriors not too long ago as well, too. But we don't know exactly when he's going to come back. There's rumors that he may have checked himself into rehab. Obviously, there was that ongoing investigation, but it did get concluded and said that they didn't have enough evidence to have any charges filed against him. So that's something that's in the plus sign. But I'm curious to hear about you guys' opinion on the whole situation, man. How you feeling about it, Carl?
I just think unfortunately, I think it was something that was going to come to a head. It was getting to say the 2 weeks preceding, or honestly 2 weeks to a month preceding, it just felt like there was a new negative headline about something he did every week. So although I want to say I was surprised, I wasn't surprised. I was surprised at what happened, but I just wasn't surprised something like this happened. I think, yeah, it's a tough situation, especially because it's one thing if somebody else was around and caught you doing it, but this was on your own IG Live, bro. You put this shit up. So hopefully, I think the biggest thing right now is just, I think either he's going through something, or it's just honestly the overall stress. But I think that he's just needs to find better outlets and better ways to deal with things and handle himself, because one of the biggest things I've been seeing in terms of people trying to back him is like, well, you know, you guys see rappers doing that. It's like, but he's not a rapper.
Yeah.
That makes a difference. My guy, he's part of a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and that's just what it is. You know, like if you're at a corporate job and you post gun videos, they can fire you.
You getting fired. Right?
Yeah, like that's
on God.
You know, so like it's something that we don't want to
guaranteed.
see, especially because he just signed this big ass contract. It's something we don't want to see is you know, him potentially doing anything to derail his career. Which I definitely believe this is going to be something small in the long run for him. I think he's still young as hell.
Still got that Nike deal.
Yeah, and he just was it like Powerade. He just became like one of their faces too. So yeah, I think I wish him the best. I think it's something that he can overcome, and I think it's hopefully he's just doing what he needs to right now to get his mind right.
What about you, T?
I think it looks a little bit like self-destruction to me. Like, and it's kind of crazy because, I mean, you got the world at your feet right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all just mentioned the sponsorship deals, and the money he's gonna be able to continue to see in his career. And it's just like, bro, like, I mean, like, it's one thing to act like a tough guy on the court. We got plenty of those. We got a lot of like guys that have that bravado while they're on the court. But it just seemed like he feel like he got to do something extra. And it's like, I don't know what provoked that. You know what I mean? Like, coming from Murray State, like you had a chip on your shoulder, and we love that. Like, seeing you come in the pre-draft process, hoop harder than everybody else. Catapult yourself to the number 2 pick. Like, everybody wants to see those top 3 picks succeed. Nobody's like saying like, oh, we don't like you or nothing like that. I never saw any rhetoric like that. So it just seems so out of place that he feels like he's got to put up this like bravado off the court. And that's the most off-putting thing to me. Plus, also, like, a lot kin to like with Dillon Brooks. Like, it's this. I don't need to be told what to do. Like, I'm a grown man. I don't need to like hear what anybody has to say. With the feedback is what's kind of off-putting to me too. It just seems like nobody can really get in his ear. You know what I mean? Like, I knew like when Shannon Sharp said what he had to say, like, he wasn't gonna listen to that. That's grown man. That's old man talking to a young man. That's another thing about like us in the black community. Like, we really don't listen to our elders. And I knew like when Shannon was talking, I was like, he ain't hearing none of that shit. That shit's going in one ear out the other. And it just seems like can't nobody get to his ear. And that's the problem. Like, I just don't know if it's gonna get fixed because it just doesn't seem like he's receptive too much.
And that's something I just wanted to piggyback on is that a lot of people are blaming, or I've seen people calling like for his dad to do something and blaming a lot of other people around him. But at the end of the day, you as on your road to be better, you as an individual have to want to be better. You can have good people around you telling you to do good things, and all. It doesn't really matter if you're not listening. So I just think it's who's to say that there aren't people telling him good things. As we saw that picture beforehand, it was just him in that room. Like it wasn't like it was a whole bunch of other dudes in there. Like, yeah. So I think the onus really falls on him.
Do you think it's an insecurity thing from him? Like he feels like he has to prove that he's the tough guy because of how he's grown up and whatnot as well too. You feel like there's an overbearing thing? Because earlier you said he may be like calling for help or some shit like that. But like, do you think it's just him trying to prove himself constantly? He's probably getting tossed all this.
I mean, clearly, I guess he does feel like he needs to prove himself, but I don't know why. I don't
exactly. I do want to say one more thing too, bro.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I hate to do this, but I do have to bring it up because Kyrie Irving is one of my favorite players, and I just want to know why Stephen A. don't got the same smoke for this Ja Morant situation.
Maybe because Ja Morant's relatively younger, has only been in the league for like 3-4 years, and Kyrie's 31 years old.
Only thing I'll say, I feel you, but the only thing I'll say is that at least Kyrie's been doing this for years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I feel like he might have different smoke for Ja, like if this was, this is what Ja had been doing for a while, and then he did some other crazy stuff.
Okay.
But also, I don't know, bro. Stephen A. is just not a great barometer for,
I just had to throw that in there because I'm always caping for Kyrie, except for the anti-Semitism.
Yeah, and then obviously, we heard about the rumblings that he had in the mall last year in the off season, and then also the volleyball incident with his sister at the gym. So it just looks like there's a lot of things that have kind of been going on. So I'm happy this happened now rather than later. So I think he's gonna be fine, because like once you realize like things like that can be taken away from you like in an instant, then I think he's gonna eventually look himself in the mirror and figure out what he wants to do. But like Carl said, we don't know what's really going on with the people that he's around as well too. They could be uplifting him and guiding him, but like you said, it takes realization to figure out if you want to better yourself or not as well too. So do y'all think he's going to eventually come back, by the end of the season, going into the playoffs? What do y'all think? I think it's one of those things where he could come back, but it won't look good for the league if he come back right away. He has to like serve his little time away. Then he gonna be good.
I don't know if he. I don't know. It's crazy. Like I just think because it's actually he's not suspended indefinitely. He's just away from the team indefinitely. The suspension I think was only for like 4 games or something like that. So, like, it's really he's on his own timeline, I feel like, of trying to get him. Because I think it did.
PR team
he's at this point now where he does understand, like, oh, damn, I'm probably wilding. And so it's now a whole thing of trying to get yourself right and figure it out.
Oh, yeah. He working with the PR team right now because when he come back, they're going to be firing at him with hella questions. So he getting prepped up. This is what's happening right now. He's just getting prepped up for coming back. Anything to add?
I mean, I was telling Peyton off screen. I think it is going to be for the rest. Well, I don't know. I was going to say for the rest of the regular season, but I didn't know it was a he's taking time off himself situation. I didn't know that. So I mean,
so it's only supposed to be 3-4 games, but now it's indefinite for him.
Yeah, like they're just the team is like he's away from the team indefinitely.
Yeah, so he gonna come
so it's
back.
almost like an Andrew Wiggins situation where he's taking time off himself.
Taking time off himself.
Not the team is saying
instances.
you're suspended.
I feel like it's like he's not literally suspended. I do think it's a little bit more. The team is probably also saying like, we might not be suspending you these games, but you still need to
chill out.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense for him to come back right away, too.
Yeah.
And that looked like he didn't technically, quote unquote, learn anything. So.
And especially, here's the craziest thing about a lot of it to me is the Grizzlies haven't done anything. Like, they haven't really won anything, and I feel like a lot of them, and a lot of this feeds, I feel like, into some of how Ja was acting, too, of like, I just don't get, where this sense of entitlement came from them. Mm-hmm. So just in that also, I feel like he can miss the rest of this year. They're going to be okay. Like, if they weren't about to win the ship this year, it's okay.
Yeah, I see. I agree. Well, staying on the subject of the Warriors, Dillon Brooks and Draymond Green continued their saga. That should be, like, every now and then I'll be watching, like, some WWE. Like, this is some male entertainment soap opera shit that we've been watching. And I feel like we haven't really seen any quote unquote beef in a while, so it's hysterical, but it's kind of funny to kind of just look at as well too. So obviously, this rivalry stems from last year, and it's continuing in this year as well too. Dillon Brooks comes out and says, "I don't like Draymond at all. I just don't like Golden State. I don't like anything to do with them. Draymond talks a lot, gets away with a lot too." And then the dynasty starts out, and then Draymond Green comes out and basically says the dynasty starts after you, not with you, and that's just a fact. So just a lot of back and forth that were kind of going on and whatnot as well too. So definitely went viral for a little bit as well too. So I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on these two guys beefing? You think it's good for the league, and then how do you feel about them in general?
I mean, I think it's good for the league because it's entertainment at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? It's clicks. It's cool to watch. I think it on a barometer level, it's probably like third behind, like, if I would have rated, I'd say Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid is probably number one. I always like seeing that, and then 2 would be like somebody else. I can't think of it in the moment, but then it's Draymond and Dillon Brooks. I just feel like they are 2 people that are just like.
You think the competition should stay the competition? I feel like.
No. Like I like that they don't like each other. I just think I'd prefer it to be like when the number 1 option or the number 2 option on the team hates the other number 1.
Bro, there was a Twitter page, and they were like promoting both of them fighting, and I think the name of the post was Battle of the battle of the ass niggas.
Yeah, like I'd rather like it. Like obviously Steph would never beef with nobody, but it'd be cooler to see Steph and Ja like want to go at each other.
Like the face of the
Chris
franchise is
Paul.
going against each other, like actually having that smoke.
Yeah, or like when Russell had
KD.
beef with somebody, Damian Lillard, I think at one
Pat
time.
Bev.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Remember because Pat Bev tore his meniscus.
and then like
yeah.
kind of like that. But other than that, I mean, it's cool to watch. I think it's funny. You know, obviously, I'm on more of Draymond Green's side when it comes to the actual term rivalry. Like,
yes, that's what I was gonna ask you guys as well too, because obviously, like they clearly don't have any championships. But if you look at the last couple of years since the play-in started, Ja and Memphis did get the best of them, and then last year, obviously, Ja goes out. Who knows if he's there, they win or not? I mean, a lot of people say the Warriors, but they did have that momentum. So it's, and if you also go back to the Marc Gasol and Zebo days, they were always clashing in the playoffs for a little bit as well too. Obviously, if you take away championships, there's no rivalry. If you take away a lot of, if you talk about that, there's a lot of non-rivalries. But so you don't think it's a rivalry?
I look at more of it as like they got playoff series beef.
Okay,
like,
so one team won 1 year, other team won 1 year.
I look at like LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers going up against the Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, Boston Celtics.
Or like the Spurs against like Dallas back in the day or some shit like that.
And the Lakers and the Sacramento Kings in 2000, 2001.
What about you?
In terms of just like the rivalry?
Yeah. Rivalry, what do you think about these two clowns? I'm kidding, they're not clowns. No, I'm kidding.
They are clowns, actually. I think one, it's just, I actually was watching something earlier. Brandon Jennings was talking about he didn't like these players doing podcasts during the season. And like there's
Brandon Jennings.
Yeah, I know it's funny coming from him. And there's part of it that I do agree with. Just because I feel like it feeds into a lot of this like extra stuff, but also at the same time in terms of like the league and stuff like that, like it's more entertainment for them, it's more value. I understand that, but I think it's two dudes that if they were on different teams, you wouldn't really probably know who they were. So
especially Dillon Brooks.
I was going to ask you, do you think that that's like a reflection, I think the podcast situation, do you think that's a reflection of people seeing Bron get the bag in the entertainment and the content space?
Nah, I think it's just how players are misused and get sound bites from the media. So, for example, with Draymond Green, a lot of times now he keeps it at a minimum of his post-game interviews. Or he just gives like some BS answers, and then he just goes back on his platform because he wants his words to kind of be heard, and then you can kind of, have your topic from there as well too. That's what I think it is.
Yeah, I just like kind of like you were saying. I wish it was people who
were good,
some players who were actually could go out and hoop.
But Draymond can't talk that. Like he
and that's
that.
the thing. And that's why I also feel like it's not as much of a beef because of like
Draymond
at least like has something to back himself up when he does this. Again, Dillon Brooks, you've done nothing. You're good at defense. Don't get me wrong, he's good at defense. But outside of that, it's like, okay, you were the second leading scorer on this team. And then they got Desmond Bane, and it was clear like you were just in that role because they needed somebody else to be in that role. So yeah.
For me, a perfect example is like how fucking Luka Doncic and Devin Booker hate each other. Like
I like that one.
That is perfect.
That's a good one. Like you saw, it was like a competitive, real like rivalry. Like we smiling in each other's faces because we know we going at it right now.
Yeah,
and
that's a good one.
Not that Draymond doesn't directly affect the game, but I want to see like, okay,
Luka
gets a bucket and then Devin that's what I want to see. I don't want to see goddamn
like, he got a dime this time, or he got a steal.
Because they were saying like both of them combined for 9 turnovers and were like 20% from 3.
Yeah, they both suck at shooting. Like, yeah, it's just it's a mid-off. It's like role players.
Mid-off.
Like Draymond is a star role player, that's for sure.
Yeah,
but it's just role players.
Yeah, nah, that's true. It's interesting. That just makes me want, like, if everyone comes back, I want to see them both kind of go at it in the first round. I think that would be some good popcorn material.
Like, if Pat Bev and Jordan Clarkson had beef, would anyone really, like, that's how I feel.
Nah.
Yeah.
talking about both of these teams, are you more concerned about the Warriors or Grizzlies? Because the Warriors, like we talked off air, they're 7-26 on the road, which is very concerning. Jonathan Kuminga just messed up his ankle. Gary Payton obviously was a part of that trade we talked about last time, and he hasn't suited up yet. Wiggins is gone for personal reasons. We don't know. Ja's out indefinitely. Steven Adams just got stem cell injections to his knee, so he's going to be reevaluated in 4 weeks. And then Brandon Clark, who was a pretty good rotation piece towards Achilles. So from now going into the playoffs, who would you say that you're more concerned about?
Yeah, I would say for me it's Memphis. I mean, at the end of the day, like, it just doesn't look good over there right now. Like, as far as your star players in this mode of just he need to get right. Like, at this point, you need everybody to be firing on all cylinders. Mm-hmm. So that situation is not good. At least the Warriors do have their core. Again, their defense is not good. I know they're in the bottom half of the league. I think I was watching something yesterday or 2 days ago. Yeah. Somebody said they were like 18th in the league in defense. But I believe in championship DNA to at least get you through the first round of games. Where Memphis is at right now, Brandon Clark tearing his Achilles, that's pretty big, honestly. That was a pretty good bench player for them. And I mean, Steven Adams, he sets screens, gets Desmond Bain open, you know. So
he
I
still
just
leads the league
and offensive rebound. You saw that too. That's funny.
So yeah, I think it's more Memphis for me.
He only played like 30, 40 games.
He's again, like, if Steven Adams would have been like on the Warriors, I feel like he would be like a star role player. You know,
and he
like,
passes great from the high post.
But I definitely feel like the not the Warriors, the Grizzlies are the one to be more concerned about, just because they're not winning a series without Ja. Mm-hmm. Like, they're cool in the regular season without him, but it's just completely different in the playoffs. And so I don't see them coming out of, especially with the West right now, everything is so, like, 1 or 2 games could separate you from being the 2 seed to the 6 seed. So I feel like it's gonna be a lot of matchups in that first round where it's good teams versus good teams. Mm-hmm. And I just don't see them beating anybody for real without Ja.
It's crazy because I'm going off of what you said a couple minutes ago. We didn't expect anything from Memphis anyway, so I would say I'm more concerned about the Warriors because they are the defending champs as well too. So I'm gonna go with that angle because right now, like you said, with the amount of stackness that's on in the West, with their losing record, I mean, I don't know if they're waiting to turn that switch on. I can't see that switch without Wiggins and Kuminga. They're two best wing, and Gary Payton. Those are the arguably three best wing defenders. I just don't see that happening. And I'm also kind of thinking maybe that punch that we talked about last year, maybe that also has something to kind of do with being on the road. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's a tribute to it as well too. But I'm going at it from just the level of the stakes. So I think I definitely have to go with the Warriors as well too.
Only thing I'll say, one of the reasons why I feel like I'm out on the Warriors because they refuse to add size. Who is it? Nerlens and Well just hit the free agent market. It was a couple of people.
No one went to the Nets, right?
Yes, they could have got him. I know they could.
Yeah.
It was a couple big men that got bought out. It was definitely several big men they could have got at the trade deadline. And it'd be different if every time I watch the Warriors play and they play a team that has a decent center, he shreds them. Yeah. It'd be different if they at least did a decent job, but they don't ever. So it's crazy to me. And to me, I just feel like you're not really trying to win because these teams with centers, like especially in the West, you're probably going to have to either play like the Lakers or Denver or something like that. And you're going to say like, well, we're just going to outshoot them when all those teams outside of their centers also have shooters too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Damn, that's true.
I remember, I think during the trade deadline, they were trying to get Jakob Poto, I think.
That would have been perfect.
That would have been crazy. Because he was cooking the Lakers last night.
But he went and to me, again, I feel like that's something they just didn't press hard enough on because the Raptors didn't really give up nothing.
Also, there's certain GMs who just have a better relationship with other GMs as well, too.
Yeah.
Because the Spurs have done a good amount of trades these past couple of years, even like during Tim Duncan era with the Raptors. But that's
finally tanking. Thank God. Thank you.
Hey, man, we might not get.
Don't worry about
the
it.
Frenchman,
okay.
But
they're tanking. Thank you.
I'm cool with Scoot too. That nigga tough.
Yeah,
I'm cool. I'm cool either way at this point.
Facts.
So we'll see. Dan, we just talked about KD, and then this guy wants to text me yesterday. Oh, see, you still trying to do this trade?
I'm ready,
bro. Still trying to do this bet.
I'm ready.
I'm not ready for this bet yet. We gonna see. Let him come back first, and then we'll see what's up.
Ready.
We either gonna do that or we're gonna do Battle LA. But anyways, Kevin Durant had this freak accident warm-up line, basically trying to explode, do a left-hand layup, and he just tweaks his ankle. And then he continues to do his workout for a little bit more. Goes to the back, doesn't come back, and then later got a scan and basically said he had I think it was a grade 1. It was grade 2.
I think so.
Grade 2 ankle sprain. So he's going to be out of the lineup for at least 2 to 3 weeks. So he's going to get reevaluated in about 3 weeks as well too. It's just kind of funny, when we had a conversation about this trade last time, and Carl and Terrence were kind of going back and forth are giving up your young assets worth this 2 to 4 year window, X, Y, and Z. I mean, what are y'all thoughts on this injury? I mean, what does this mean for him, but not only him, especially with CP aging, and the Suns with him being there, they could have scooted up to at least a 2-3 seed. We don't know how the run would have looked like, but what does this mean for KD and the Suns?
I'm gonna let you go, Carl.
I will say, they at least, which is really weird to me because they traded away Bridges and Cam Johnson, and their wing depth isn't the same, and with KD being out, but they've played because he was out the first 4 or 5 games before the break. I mean, after the All-Star break, and now he's been out I guess 1 or 2 more. They played good in those games. So
great.
Yeah, they which is really surprising to me. So, I mean, at least you're in a position where you can afford to have him come back, and KD is probably singular in that when he's healthy, that's if he's feeling good enough, you drop him in. You don't have to game plan for real.
He's one of the very few players who can take a lot of time off and come back, and it's like nothing's happened.
Yeah,
and he's one of those players where he can get dropped into any system and he fits seamlessly. It's crazy
because he's not ball dominant, but he's just hyper efficient.
Yeah.
So, I think it sucks, and it's also definitely a part of the risk that you take trading for an injury prone. He's injury prone at this point in his career. But I still, at the same time, you still have a better chance waiting for him than I feel like you did with the team as it was constructed before. So,
I mean, they're 2.5 games up on the 5th seed. So I mean, they're comfortable enough, but their schedule coming up is. It's kind of crazy right now. So I'm pulling it up right now. They're actually playing the Kings right now. They're down 10. They probably doubling Book like a motherfucker right now. Book. Damn, having Book as your number 2 option is actually crazy. I kind of take that back when we had the real rapper Cap talking about Luka and Kyrie, and then you said JB and JT. My shit might be Book and fucking KD, bro. Them niggas is cold together.
But they played 4 games.
I know, bro. But it's just crazy. And you were right. Because of the attention that KD commands, Book is.
He's just not usually he just doesn't. He's not taking a million shots because he also doesn't need to.
He doesn't need to. That's fire. But they got Sacramento now. Then they got Golden State. Then they got the Bucks. Orlando always gives teams problem. OKC gonna give you a run for your money. Then they play the Lakers, Sacramento again. Then they play Philly. Utah still in the race. Minnesota still in the race. Then they got Denver, OKC again. Spurs, please tank. Denver again, LA, and LA again. So you could go from possibly the 4th seed to a playing team in a matter of a couple weeks. So that's gonna be tough. If I'm them, I don't really want to. I want to try to avoid the playing as much as possible. But like he said, they played without KD before, and I think they can play at least 500 level basketball from here on until he gets back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe in their title hopes with or without him, but I mean, they could play 500 basketball.
Title hopes because of what they gave up as far as they don't have defensive wings, the injury proneness. What do you attribute you not believing in their title hopes?
Yeah, that and I don't think I still think there's a little beef between DeAndre Ayton and oh boy,
Monty Williams.
Monty Williams. I just think it just seemed like. But then he just re-upped on his contract, right? I think he just got like a 4-year deal or something like that.
Yeah, so they basically kind of treated him. Well, he's a restricted free agent. So basically, what's happening with Lamar right now is like you go out there, see what teams want to offer you, and then we'll match it. And they matched it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I mean, Chris Paul
It's washed.
I don't know. Like I don't see him playing heavy minutes like that. What I think that they'll need to, and to get to where they need to go. Kevin Durant and Book are going to give you 60+ points a game. That's true. But I think that there are a lot of duos in the West that they're going to play that also give them 60+. So I don't know. I seem to believe in what I'm seeing more so from other teams in the West than I am for what the Suns' title hopes are. That's just me, and I'm also a little bit of a Kevin Durant hater, so I will throw that in there.
And he hates Booker too.
Yeah, I mean it's easy to hate Devin Booker. Come on, bro. He be acting like he got a chip. Or I ain't gonna say it.
I will agree with Luka because Luka was like, I don't have no problem with you.
Just don't talk when we are, yeah.
You did that shit with 3 seconds left when you knew you was about to win the game. Like, talk from the jump.
But it looked like he was talking for the jump. He just made it worse.
He wasn't. He wasn't acting like that.
That's funny, but I mean, just looking at these teams that are currently in the playoff hunt. Well, if it was 1 through 8 right now and just ended, there was no playoffs, and they're healthy. Y'all know I love Kawhi. They some goofy ass niggas. Memphis some goofy ass niggas. Kings haven't proved anything. Denver's just been the most healthiest, but they're still food on defense, especially Joker gonna get exposed. You've been seeing those videos lately? He'll give you 28 to 30, but also give up 30.
My cousin just sent me something earlier today about
the Spurs one.
Yeah, he was in Cook last night.
It's nasty, bro.
Yeah.
Then you got Dallas, who don't play no defense. Golden State can't win on the road. Minnesota, Cat's probably not coming back. So, I mean, if you're looking at that outside of the team we're going to talk about a little bit later, they can beat any of these teams in a 7-game series. There's no team right here that I fear at all, even on the defensive end. I think Phoenix could get timely stops and just play efficient level basketball in a 7-game series.
I'd be surprised if the NBA champion isn't from the East this year.
Fair. I mean, I see Milwaukee getting it this year for me, honestly.
Yeah. I just don't know yet about Joe Mazzulla's adjustments that he's going to make. And it seems like they took a step back defensively as opposed to when they were with Udoka. But a lot of players and teams who get to the finals say they kind of only have their eyes on that, so they get a little bored of the regular season. So if there's any team that kind of turn up that notch, it would be them. I want to give a little bit hope to the 76ers, but certain teams and certain organizations just have that weird DNA in their system, especially with Doc Rivers as your coach. I don't know. I trust Joel Embiid possibly this year for 7 games, but outside of Joel Embiid, I don't know who else is going to be that consistent scorer that he can kind of rely on with the others.
Milwaukee on 18, 19 straight now?
Well, Philly beat them. Philly beat them.
They did. But before then it was like 17 straight or something like that? 16?
At least 15 games.
Yeah, man. I mean, they looked great over that 15-game stretch. I just
You saw him live too, right?
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah. I mean, Giannis, bro.
EOD. He's literally a video game.
I can't lie to you. Best player in the league for me, bro.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. What's going on with all these injuries, man? I feel like this season has had an uproar in injuries, and then just this past week there's been 4 or 5 ankle sprains and whatnot as well too. Do you think it's just freak accidents? Do you think it's the shoes? Do you think it's the lack of practice? What do you think is attributing to all these injuries that are going on in the league?
I think it might be lack of practice because I see the coaches or the older coaches complain that they don't be practicing enough now or whatever, or the load management or whatever. But I also think it might be because niggas might not be taking care of their bodies as what they need to be.
Mm-hmm.
Real. Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of stars missing a lot of time. I think also, I think that they're just doing less. I think sometimes you have to find a balance between not doing too much and doing too little. Yeah, and I think that they're just way too far on this side, and your body's not used to that. Exactly, your body's not getting used to all of this, and so you're Because it's crazy. I mean, and this is one of those instances where I agree with a lot of the older players. They were like, we did all this. We had more back-to-backs, all these other stuff, but like our injury rate was a lot lower. And I'm talking people from like, just 10 years ago where the game was similar in style.
Yeah. No, that's crazy, man. Yeah, there's been so many injuries, man. So we're going to see what happens. I just want to see, with all the 8 teams from each conferences who get their ticket punched in, I want to see them fully healthy, like in the playoffs. Obviously, there's going to be, bumps and bruises along the way, but relative health is all I need for the playoffs this year, man. Like that's it. I don't want no excuses. Moving on from that, you guys were kind of talking about that off air. Fred VanVleet was fined $30K by the NBA this past Thursday for criticizing an NBA official named Ben Taylor, and essentially they lost to the Clippers 108-101. And then there's a couple of different quotes here. He says, speaking for a lot of guys, obviously I was frustrated and emotional, but there's a lot of people that feel that way. Hopefully going forward, we see some changes for the betterment of their game. It was a little emotional, tough loss. Things not going our way. Got caught up in the moment a little bit as well, too. And then he said, you live and you learn, you move on. It came out authentic. It came out in real time. I wouldn't have done it that if I feel like I had another option or outlet. I feel like I've exhausted my options this season, many different occasions. It is just one of those things. I'm human. And then he, basically came out and said, I thought Ben Taylor was fucking terrible tonight. I think that on most nights, out of those 3 officials, there's 1 or 2 that just fucked the game up. It's been like that a couple of games in a row. And he says, losing on Monday at Denver was tough. Obviously, you come out tonight competing pretty hard, and I get a bullshit tech that changes the whole dynamic of the game, changes the whole flow of the game as well, too. Most of the refs are trying hard. I like a lot of the refs. They're trying hard. They're pretty fair and communicate well. And then you got the other ones who just want to be dicks and just kind of fuck the game up. And no one's coming.
I was watching. Yeah, he was mad.
No one's coming to see that shit. They come to see the players. So in Fred VanVleet kind of going off and this kind of catching a little bit of attention from the basketball realm of things. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? You think he was, fair to go out and criticize the refs?
Yeah. Okay. So I want to preface this. My dad actually was a referee for a while, a long time, 10, 15 years. And he told me one of the things, just as a referee, you're doing a good job not when the players aren't complaining, because the players are always complaining, but when the fans aren't necessarily noticing that you're a part of the game. And when as a fan, when I'm watching nationally televised games or just other games that are off market that I'm watching illegally streaming, you can tell when a game
be at your door, bro. I don't know why you did that.
you know when the game is officiated well, when you're just watching, you're not bothered by the officiating, and I think for most of the time, majority of the time, the officiating is high quality in the NBA, but it's a reflection of when it is bad that you can tell right there in the moment when it is bad, because when they do a good job, they do a really good job. So I think in this instance, I do agree with VanVleet, because there is a personal element to anything human related. If he thought Ben Taylor, has done this prior times and is now taking it out on him again in a future game, I 100% agree with him. And that seems like what his main gripe was that that specific Ben Taylor referee had it out for him. And I've seen there was an older referee. His name was Joey Crawford back in the day. The old white dude. Yeah. When he got Tim Duncan on the bench, I was like, bro, that's personal. You know what I mean? You can as an official or as a referee, you can take things on the chin. But if a nigga on the bench, bro, you just got a personal vendetta for him. Mm-hmm. So, and I've also seen obviously the whole Scott Foster with Chris Paul, even Scott Foster, what he did, the other day with Scotty Barnes, you can just see when it is personal, and that fucks up the game. So I agree with what VanVleet had to say the other night.
Yeah, no, I definitely. That really is the biggest thing, is the refs. Nobody's paying to see no one's coming to see the refs. No one's watching TV to see the refs. So it shouldn't be something where you're completely disrupting the flow of the game, or you're standing out more because you made an egregious call. me bounce passing you the ball should never be grounds for a tech. It doesn't make any sense at all. And I think there needs to be my thing is there needs to be some type of checks and balances system, because even you can see, so in the video where Jordan Poole bounced past the ball and he got the tech, there's a frame of the other ref confused. He's like, what's going on? Nothing just happened.
Barnes joint too.
Yeah, nothing just happened. So I think there has to, I don't know, there just has to be something where maybe, because we have like the league can help with the replays and stuff like that. Why can't they just come down and be like, hey, bro, you got to take that tech back. That was it was unnecessary. It was unreasonable, because those do really, especially like, during runs, other things like that. When something like that happens, it can cut off your momentum. It can, especially when you didn't do anything wrong. Like, it demoralizes a lot of the players. It's just stuff where it's like, why are you've now potentially changed the outcome of a game because you took something personal, or because you didn't like a guy, or because they didn't do the thing the way that you wanted it to. They just be having power trips sometimes, bro. That's really
that is it. That's it.
Also,
That's
I know a lot of
word.
these refs, they got friends that probably be betting too. Probably
for sure.
Scheming that be going on behind that, because some of these games be a little OD with the calls. So do you guys think? Yeah. So do you guys think that obviously players get disciplined and shit like that? You think refs should? I know they make a lot less than players, but you think they should get a little fine or anything?
A fine? Oh yeah, absolutely. If it's something egregious, I think they should. But the NBA they try and say like that they're penalized or something like that. But like we were saying off screen, like I feel like
you gotta go to the G League for a week, nigga.
That's wild.
I just think it should be public, whatever they do, like, or whatever, like it should be something. Because when the players mess up, they be quick. Like, so and so got fined this amount. Make sure it's everywhere and everyone knows.
Hey, nobody got a problem with Gucci Mane, the ref that look like Gucci. I don't hear nothing from him.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
They fuck with him.
I think, to speak to your point, Carl, I think what would be cool would be like some sort of like a scorecard, because you always know, like, for example, the referees that get to referee the Super Bowl or the NCAA championship, they're there for a reason. Yeah. So it'd be cool to see like how they get that result. You know what I mean? Like, I think like if it were a scorecard or just something to kind of show that transparency, I think would be cool.
I like that.
And there needs to be a certain cutoff where it's like, if you under this, you gone. Because I'll be mad, especially now if I know, say like everybody just gets a grade. So, we coming out and tonight we know we got 2 C referees. Like, what, bro? I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah. There is someone with a scorecard though. Who's that one ref that's still in the league? He's a very popular white guy. They said something about like when he refs against like the Celtics or whatever, like they got a losing record. I can't remember.
He was black though.
No, it's a white dude. I can't remember his name. Scott Foster?
I mean, that's the only one I can know by name for real in the league.
Scott Foster. I'm going to look it up eventually, and I'm going to send it to you guys in the group chat and whatnot. Update on the Clippers. I think they're on a 3-game winning streak right now, man. I'm proud of my guys. Last 10 games, they are 5-5. Obviously, when they acquired Russell Westbrook, we were kind of trying to figure out, one, where was he going to go, and 2, we played a hypothetical. But since he joined the Clippers, I think they were on a 5-game losing streak. Now it seems like they finally,
won tonight too.
They won tonight.
Yeah,
nice. With that W against Memphis Grizzlies, that really kind of put things into perspective for them. So I think they may be poised for a run as well too. But what are you guys' thoughts on the Clippers thus far as well too? Acquiring Russell Westbrook, and how you think they're going to finish out the season?
I'm not gonna lie. I only watch Clipper games when they play in the Lakers. So I just knew for a little second they was like 0-4 with him. I know now they doing their thing. The Clippers always got a chance because they got depth. And Tyronn Lue, I respect him as a coach. I think he can make not only in-game adjustments but playoff adjustments. So I give them that respect just off the coaching staff. But it all comes down to injury, or not injury, but just durability for me. Whether or not Kawhi gonna be able to stand on his 2 feet, lead the team, be there. I think that it's really those 2 things for me. Ty Lue's strength in his in-game adjustments, and then Kawhi being healthy, or at least healthy enough to put 28, 30 on the board.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, health is always going to be a concern with certain players. Like we're going to talk about a little bit later, like with AD, KD, Autumn as well too. So I'm kind of trying to think about it outside of that. I mean, do you guys trust Paul? You know, obviously he came out with his podcast and he's on JJ Redick, and he basically came out and said, "I know I'm not the number one. I mean, it's good to be realistic, but I would keep that in house." But do you trust PG to be a legit number 2 to win a championship, man?
I just don't really trust the Clippers. I don't know. I feel like they don't really know what they're doing.
Their window closed.
Yeah, that I feel as well. But I think, like, the Westbrook thing, there was just no need. And, like, it showed that they forced them to sign Westbrook because they traded for Bones to play him. That was clearly the point, because they were. And now they added Westbrook, and they can't play him because you can only play X amount of guards, especially X amount of guards that aren't really that good at defense. But I just think, they're just doing stuff. Like, Westbrook doesn't really add anything to their team. They've been winning because they've been playing him like 20 minutes a night. And then they gave in to him starting just to like make him happy, because it's clear like he doesn't really need to be doing that either. So they have depth, but sometimes depth can be a problem when you have too much depth, because I know you're like, I feel like Ty Lue can figure it out, but sometimes it does cause issues when you actually have a lot of guys who can play. So we'll see.
do you think that their window is closed? You don't think their window is closed?
The window, whether it's closed or not, is going to be determined by what they do in the playoffs this year as well too. I think the 5-game losing streak that they got on isn't solely on Westbrook at all. I mean, I think it's just like you said, sometimes when you have too much depth, that can be a detriment to your team, but we also had some injuries as well too. Marcus Morris Sr. at the lineup. Zubac just came back. Players getting familiar with Russell Westbrook. Players getting familiar with Plumlee. Bones Highland trying to figure out where he is, and then we also try to figure out where Eric Gordon's going to be as well too. So it was just a lot of times us trying to get familiarized with each other, and then communication on defense as well too.
I think it's more so like, do you think Kawhi Leonard and Paul George can get it done at this point now?
I'm having question marks about. I'm not worried about Kawhi Leonard at all. Like, I'm not. He's a number 1 on that team for sure. I mean, he just had 38 tonight. If you look at, I know
38 tonight, but is he gonna play next week?
Is AD gonna play next week? Is KD gonna play next week? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look, man.
But I'm saying, we're going back to 2 episodes ago. Like, if you take away his ACL injury, and then obviously the Zaza Pachulia shit, he's played in every playoffs.
Oh, playoffs. Okay, I was about to say, but still, he's not someone who plays a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we already know he's never playing back-to-backs again. Like, that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about playoff run. This is what the window's going to be determined about, right? Playoffs. What you do in the playoffs. So I think I disagree. I think Russell Westbrook adds another. From what I've watched, obviously you can't necessarily play him right now down the stretch because of his shooting. That's going to be something that's a problem. But throughout the game, I mean, because Kawhi and PG were playing point guard a lot this entire year. Like, they got to a point where they're like, yo, we need Terrence Mann to fucking handle the ball. And Kawhi and PG are kind of like that KD in a sense where they don't need too much shots to be efficient, and they'd rather just get the ball and score. Because when you're dribbling the ball up and down the court, getting pressed X, Y, and Z, that takes a lot of energy off you. So I feel like Russell Westbrook, from what I've seen in the starting lineup, he's done what he's had to do, getting players set up.
For me, like, it's like I get that, but you could have got 15 to 20 other point guards who could also set them up and are not going to turn the ball over 9 times. Of course, I'm exaggerating.
But off the market, who would you have gotten?
I would have to look. I don't have it in front of me, but I think there's also,
and I feel like it's a low risk, low reward, right? Like you said, like, if he's not contributing, we got other players that we can kind of plug in as well too.
We'll see. That is where I disagree, because I feel like he comes with more. He can be. I think he causes. And I don't want to say it's necessarily always his fault, but I think sometimes the air around him can cause issues in the locker room. Like, he's definitely a pouty person. Like, if something's going wrong, he's gonna be in there and he's gonna bring the mood down. And I just think that was something that you didn't need to add in.
I think it'll work out. I think it's just gonna come down to
what's your
What does
definition of
work
it?
out?
Yeah,
I was
what is
just
your
about to
definition
ask
of it
that. I
working
was
out?
just about to ask that shit.
West wide open, deep playoff run, depending on what seeding we get. I think so. But I'm more so worried about Paul George. That's who I'm worried about. Can you be that consistent number 2? Can you can you up your level of game and give me 25 to 25 plus a night in the playoffs? We have the luxury of having depth on our team where Kawhi's number 1 and then whoever's hot is going for it, but you need that consistent number 2. Most teams have these top 2 options, and sometimes with PG, he's just either play off P or way off P. So he need to figure out what the fuck he want to do.
How long they been together now?
4 years?
4 years, but really 2.
Yeah.
So I guess 2.5. So yeah, if they don't get to at least the conference finals, I'd probably blow it up. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh,
And
wow.
and blow it up, I mean trade Paul George. If there's any way Dame cannot be too loyal, give me Dame and give me
For Paul
Jeremy
George?
Grant for
You're
Paul
drunk.
George,
They
or
drunk.
Norman Powell, Terrence Mann. Y'all go.
You gotta get him.
Dame come to LA, man.
You're drunk.
You gotta get him.
Dame and
both out.
Kawhi?
You're never getting Damian Lillard off the Portland Trailblazers, nigga.
It's on him.
For Paul George.
You're tripping,
Hope so, man. That's my dream scenario. Let me live. Let
Yeah,
me
you
dream
said
for a little
Jeremy
bit.
Grant and Dame for
And
Paul
Dame.
George. You're
For PG and Norman Powell,
Straight
go
up.
back.
Oh, okay.
And Terrence Mann and draft picks. Go. Get it.
No.
That'll be fire.
They need to send both them niggas out the door.
Yeah,
But
that's
the thing is, they're about
to
to.
get rid of Paul George. You got to get rid of Kawhi.
The thing is,
That
I don't think
that
they will
arena-
because the arena's about to be built.
I'm telling you, bro.
unless in the trade for Paul George, you're bringing back Damian Lillard or someone else who like is of that caliber. I don't think you're gonna put something around Kawhi where you can win.
Yeah,
Paul George, his value.
it's
I feel
crazy
like-
because from a skilled standpoint, some nights he looked top 5, but when that jumper ain't
is
falling,
everything.
it's everything,
Yeah.
man.
A bunch of
That's all I
players.
need.
Cam Thomas dropped 43 games in a row.
Malik Monk dropped 40 against the Clippers 2 weeks
Wow,
ago.
hilarious.
That shit was crazy. If I could just get the Paul George where we saw in the playoffs the year Kawhi got hurt.
But that's also the key is that like he really only started playing that great when it was just him.
Yeah, sometimes it was hard for them to kind of coexist with each other. Like that's a weird duo where it's hard for them to get that level of consistency together. But we're gonna see. PG said his knees feel better. He feel good now. He always say be having some excuse. You know what I'm saying? But if he can just be in more of an attack mode, I think that'll serve us as well. And I think Ty Lue just has to he shouldn't have to, but I think he has to make a conscious effort to get him involved early. Because Kawhi can get his bucket whenever he wants. But we're going to see. Now, the moment we all been waiting for, Los Angeles Lakers. Do I have to update it now? Nah. They're 33-34 right now on a 3-game winning streak, 7-3 in their last games. Even with no LeBron James, they're in the playoff hunt, and hope maybe by the time he comes back, they can be a top 6 seed, man. What do you attribute to the Los Angeles Lakers, man? What are your thoughts on all this? Because I know you were crying like last year with Russell Westbrook.
I mean, yeah, I think the whole
you
city
said
of
your
LA,
garbage have ass, this
whole-
and that, no shooting. Like it's day and night now.
The whole city of LA didn't want Russell Westbrook on the team, bro. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But
Yeah, especially with $47 million.
yeah, especially coming off the bench now. Well, that was crazy. But I will say first of all, I want to give shout out to Darvin Ham for playing the right lineups. He put in players in their right positions, and now with
Do you
Anthony
attribute more of that
Davis-
to personnel because of the personnel you got now?
I mean, yeah. I mean, he didn't have great players available to him.
Yeah.
So I mean, starting Pat Bev and Dennis Schroeder in the same backcourt is crazy. But hey, if that's what you had to work with, that's what you had. But
Nasty.
what I was gonna say? Oh, I want to give a shout out to Darvin Ham because now that because I don't think initially he started Jared Vanderbilt. I think it may have been like a game where he didn't start him when he first off the trade, but then after that, they've been like number 1 in defensive efficiency over these last 10 games in the league. That's huge. That gives me the I feel like the bravado to talk like that. Yeah, they are gonna make some noise in the playoffs just because of their defensive rating now with Anthony Davis and Jared Vanderbilt in their front court. And I think now what you're seeing is essentially 48 minutes of great point guard play and playmaking between D'Angelo Russell
Told
and
niggas about
the
D-Lo.
shooter. Yeah. So I think now the fact that they have the shooting and they can get great shots off great playmaking, we can score with the best of teams on any possession. That's great. And now you've got the lineups that can still be efficient on the floor when LeBron's not on it. And I have not seen that since he's been playing with Kyrie. So I think it's great. I think it's one of the more exciting teams that I've rooted for in a while. And this is again over a 10-game stretch where LeBron hasn't been on the floor. So I think what I see for them is if they got to the 6th seed, I think in my eyes, the reason why I texted you last night was because I think they're gonna get to the 5th seed. To be honest, like I looked at their schedule and it looks amazing. Like other than they play Milwaukee, I think one game, which I think is probably the one that I could say is a definite L. But other than that, I feel like the rest of their games are winnable. Even when they play the Suns, I think they play the Suns at home and they play them on the road. So they'll probably lose that road game. But other than that, I feel like all the games are winnable to me. And I think, this, again, like what you guys were talking about with Kevin Durant, being able to drop him into a lineup. LeBron's the same way to me. You just continue you just basically change the playmaking role from bringing D'Angelo off or on as the on ball to an off ball, and we see he's like
he can play great off ball.
Yeah, he's like a top 10, I think, in 3-pointers made this season. So it's
from catch and shoot or just in general.
Well, I think it might be in 3 points or 3-point attempts.
Okay.
3-point attempts, but I'm not exactly sure if it's made or not. But either way, off ball, on ball, D'Angelo can fit, and then LeBron, obviously with his playmaking, allows them to be more efficient with less turnovers.
It's crazy because like they're playing more free without Bron, but also there's pressure on them because they're basically kind of like Boston from last year. Obviously, different levels as far as like where they were in the rankings, but basically to the point where Boston was playing like it was a playoff game every single game.
Yes, and I should have started with this, but shout out to my man Austin Reeves and Phil Handy. Phil Handy got Austin Reeves looking like Kyrie Irving. It's crazy. Phil Handy, bro, is the best skill coach in the league to me, bro. He got Austin Reeves, an undrafted player, bro, a 6'5" point guard, looking like just crazy with the heady work. So I'm very appreciative of what the Lakers, from a scout team's perspective, does when they draft and when they go get players that are undrafted and how they develop them.
I was gonna say they know how to find him a white boy because same with Caruso, and he's a player in the league because of them.
For sure.
Yep.
So I guess obviously we talking greatest of all time for this generation. Do you think when he comes back, he has to do any? Do you think he should do any form of adjustment to his game at all?
LeBron,
like let D'Lo play a little bit on ball, and he plays off ball, or
yeah, I think LeBron. What could also I could see happening is D'Angelo bringing the ball up the court and Bron starting from the post. Okay. He's like to do that as well, to draw double teams and then kick out the shooters. I can see that happening. But obviously he will do, especially if they continue this winning streak, like he gonna do whatever is in the best interest of the team. He's always been that way, so for sure I can see that.
When he comes back, I guess you just replace him with Troy Brown Jr.
Yeah,
You do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like Vander, but yeah, that is a damn good defensive team as well too. Any additional thoughts to Lakers?
I think just. When we first talked about this on the last one when they had made the trade, I was like, they fleeced. And I think it's just clear. Like, it's crazy to me because the Timberwolves themselves devalued Vanderbilt because they had Rudy Gobert. So now it's hard to have at least Anthony Davis he's mobile, he can shoot mid-range, so you can have Vanderbilt out there next to him. They couldn't play him because of their own personnel, but that didn't make him a bad player. So, the way that they just offloaded him and Malik Beasley and D'Angelo Russell, it's crazy. But, yeah, they're all good, really good role players, and they make the Lakers an actual NBA team versus Yeah.
fun to watch.
Yeah.
Like, I enjoy watching them play.
Yeah.
I'm on that bandwagon right now. If they're all healthy and they can get like a 6 seed or whatnot, like I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up in the finals.
For real. I mean, AD himself, and he's definitely not what he was in New Orleans, but AD was able to take role players and get to the playoffs. They didn't get far, but so I think, this team already right now with like Anthony Davis outside of last night playing really well, and then you have good guys all around him that can get buckets and play some defense. Because they're just waiting on Bron to get back.
They probably, looking at all these teams in the West, they the best defensive team.
And I just looked at the schedule too. They play Houston a couple times.
Chicago.
It's like
OKC again.
OKC though, that for some
It's
reason
one of those
they
games.
they be turning up against each other. But
them young legs.
Yeah.
And Shy, it depends. Shy be on that Kawhi shit now too.
Bro, we don't talk about him enough because his team is not that good. But he is like,
I think he's better than Ja Morant. I'm tripping, but I think he's better than Shy. I'd rather take Shy.
I would take Shy too, just from the standpoint of being able to shoot it from anywhere and
All three levels,
get in the paint.
6'6".
Yeah.
I would just need to see one. At least for me, I've seen Ja do this is like his third year, kind of being a star now.
Mm-hmm.
I would want like one more year of Shy doing this to like put him there, but I could definitely see it.
I still be mad about the Clippers trading him. Like PG, why are you going? Please, basically being like Melo, sign that extension. You could have waited. We could have had Shy at the point guard position. What?
Yeah.
He wouldn't have been what he is now, though.
Who knows?
I
You
mean,
think it's like the James Harden treatment, basically?
Yeah. I mean, as a third option in the league, you're probably getting, 10, 12 shot attempts? You get like
I don't give
18,
him more
20.
shot attempts than PG.
He is carrying the Thunder right now. They would be firmly in the lottery if it wasn't for him.
Yeah, they could potentially make the playoffs this year. That would be kind of wild. And then Chet's going to be back. Hopefully, even putting on some weight. And then that one guy, what's that guy's name?
Wemby?
Nah.
Jalen Williams.
Yeah, he's tough.
Yeah, he is tough as fuck.
He's OD.
He's tough. That was a diamond in the rough.
Rookie? Oh, yeah, he cold.
Yeah,
He
goes.
was
Absolutely.
a diamond in the rough, bro.
Yeah,
and
so-
they always find them.
Sam Presti does a damn good job at drafting players.
Yeah, bro. That's
Just
scouting.
can't keep them.
That scouting team, bro. If you got a good scouting team, you always gonna be okay.
Y'all do a good
Giddey is
Y'all do a
cold,
good
too.
job at drafting players too.
Yeah. Josh Giddey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kinda remind me
I was
of
a
Steve
fan
Nash
of
a
him
little
too.
Yeah.
I was a fan of him.
Yeah. So
Them
yeah,
always-
their
them-
future looks bright.
Them international players, when you hit on them, you be like, yeah,
Yeah.
I knew what I was doing.
Or then you could be like the Pistons and draft Killian Hayes, but I don't want to get into that.
Bro, he's washed. Tony Parker and all the Frenchmen were trying to vouch for him before he went to the draft. Like, yeah, he gonna be nice. Nothing.
Bro, shooting like 35 from the field.
I
bro.
forgot Cade was done the whole season. They gonna be all right too in a couple.
That K thing is a blessing in disguise because now we have a way better chance of getting the number one.
Wiseman's been playing a little well.
Wiseman has. That's what we are doing right now. What I do like is just getting a bunch of the
Young players to get
reclamation
reps.
projects. Yeah, like we just signed R.J. Hampton. He's actually not. He doesn't look too bad with us. Of course, Wiseman. We had Bagley. Who was a Diallo? Because a couple of young players that we were just like, all right, y'all gave up. They had high pedigree. At least we can see what they're doing.
Yeah, after Killian Hayes' rookie contract up, he's done.
Yeah, I hope so.
Real rapper Cap, let's get it. The Mavs will miss the playoffs this year.
Cap for me, I think Luka, and Kyrie. No, I don't see it. Too much winning time, fourth quarter buckets for them to lose. Even as tight as it is in the standings, I just believe in them too.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely say Cap. Missing the playoffs, no. They might potentially, we could say like lose in the first round or something, but I just don't think there's a way that they're gonna miss the playoffs.
I think I'm gonna go Cap too, but it really just depends on where they end at. Because their defense is terrible. It's non-existent. Even though you have Kyrie and Luka going for 60 combined a night, if they're not shooting lights out, they're not gonna win. And it's one of those things where it's like he may have got traded a little bit too late and they're still trying to figure it out. And also it could be a thing where they're good together, but you have to really take a step back, figure out how we're going to build around these guys. But if they are in the play-in and get matched up, let's say if Portland makes it or the Pelicans, they could get them out in one game.
Portland ain't doing nothing, bro.
But I'm saying, like, if they matched up, Dame can get you out in one game, just one game.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with Cap, but I wouldn't be shocked if some shit happened. We're gonna see though. But I believe too much in Luka and too much in Kyrie not to get it done. Real rapid cap, Harden will end up back in Houston after the season is over.
Cap for me. I think Harden has way too much. Like, I think Harden does want to answer to the narrative that like he couldn't win in Houston and that he wants to try to make it work with Joel to try to get to the NBA Finals again.
Yeah, Cap, just because he can't. I think he realizes kind of like what his legacy looks like right now, and I think for him to have run out on Houston, then run out on the Nets, and then if he were to leave like Philly, this pretty much in a similar way, I just don't think it's gonna end. And then also, why would I go from Joel Embiid to anybody to playing with any of those young kids in Houston?
Exactly.
Yeah, like
he's a bucket though, but not to leave Joel.
Yeah, no, like they're cool. They look like in like 4 years they'll be nice, but like they're not a piece away.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Cap too, but if Philly don't at least get to conference finals, I think he's gonna be a journeyman. And who's about to be 38 years old? Chris Paul, non-guaranteed contract. Chris Paul, James Harden took a little bit less just to get the team built around him. I can see him replacing Chris Paul and trying to link up with KD again with Book. That'd be crazy.
I don't know if KD wants him again, bro.
I think they wanted to play together. Just fucking Kyrie, dog.
But he still didn't have to. I don't know. We'll see.
I think it was Kyrie.
Yeah, but he still let that come in between, like, so why would I go and join up with you again just so that someone else could do something again and you gonna leave? Like,
I don't know. I just feel like I feel like the personnel management from the top down know what they're doing over there, and I just feel like the Nets was just a shit show.
I don't know, because DeAndre Ayton, they clearly don't know how to manage that situation.
But the owner's gone now.
I mean, yeah, because this new owner just started this year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, so they haven't really established anything. I don't know.
True.
We'll see.
That is true. We'll see. Real rapper Cap, Zion will make it back by playing time.
Cap. Bro, he don't play basketball at all.
Cap 2. He just going to eat his gumbo and just chill. Wait till next year. He already got the bag. But when he's on the court, he's great. He's one of the best to watch. I don't think he's coming back. He retore his hamstring.
That's honesty, bro. I love watching Zion play, but he don't like it apparently.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Cap. Where are they at in the standings right now?
I got it pulled up right now. They are 11th right now.
Yeah,
they're tied for 10th basically.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and say Cap. I just think that they will put him on ice and then come back next season.
I'll tell you this: I'd rather see Zion, if he can come back in the hypothetical, I'd rather see Zion, CJ, and BI with their playoff experience last year being in the playoffs over this Dallas team. That'd be tough.
No way.
Zion for the first time in the playoffs.
Luka Doncic is prime time television, bro. I'm sorry. Nope.
So is Zion when he's playing.
Nope.
It's just sad because they really did do a good job of like
building
out that team.
Yeah, they were number one at one point. Remember?
Yeah, it's one of those like, okay, we built around you, and we have all the pieces, but we just never have
you.
Thing. And like that's really what like you're saying, when they had him, they were one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah,
but they need that other star.
Mm-hmm.
Also, though, low key, with just another thing, I feel like CJ's playing well in New Orleans, but it proves that Dame really didn't have a lot of help. Because just CJ is not enough, you need two other stars along with CJ in order to be like a good team.
Yeah.
And they was just telling Dame, no, you got CJ, you good.
That shit nasty. Real rapper Cap, Kyrie will re-sign with the Mavs this offseason.
Big cap, because he ain't about to be in no red state, bro.
What you mean? He get to be more free in the red state.
What you mean? No way.
No.
He ain't trying to be with
all this shit. He be going.
Nah, he gonna be up out of there, bro. He gonna be up out of there.
The taxes?
Unless they crazy enough to give him 5 years.
The taxes over there?
If they crazy enough to give him 5 years, all bets are off. But I don't think he gonna resign though.
I want to say he real cap like he's gonna resign only because I hope that he can be in a stable situation.
I'm going to say real rap, he's going to stay there and sign a 4-year contract. Now, will he fulfill those 4 years with them and not force his way out? We don't know. I just think that it would just be cheaper, and I'm just banking on D-Lo playing well that the Lakers are going to re-sign him instead and not get him and not get Kyrie.
Yeah. I think it's more likely that Kyrie retires than him getting a 4 or 5 year deal.
I think Mark Cuban going to say fuck it because Luka need help.
Okay, yeah, sure.
I wouldn't be surprised. Mark Cuban, he be trying to do whatever. Don't really be working out a lot of the time. He's like really not that great at what he does, but like, bro, why? So he put together that championship team. Literally that same offseason, traded away half that team, and they were never really good again until they got Luka. He just be doing he be doing stuff and it work out sometimes, and a lot of times it don't.
It's just but at least he tries. It's just so hard for a small market team to stay good.
Yeah, but also you can make there's some moves that you could not make to help.
Yeah, why did he trade all them? Were they getting old? Did he not want to pay them anymore? Because Tyson Chandler was old. Sean Murray was old as shit.
Tyson Chandler still was good for a couple.
The Jet
years
was
because he came back. He ended up coming back 2 years later.
Came back
still
again.
Being fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember he was on the Lakers that 1 year.
Yep.
But real rapper,
the Lakers were giving out Luol Deng like huge contracts.
He was still getting paid. Like, yeah, the Moscow shit was nasty.
Crazy.
But we ain't gonna talk about the dark ages. You're looking good now. That's all that matters.
Yep.
Real rapper Cap. If Lakers don't make the playoffs for some reason, AD will get traded.
Oh, I was trying to make sure that's what that said. No, Gap. AD, I think I think in the legacy and the allure of Lakers that they want a big man. Like they love having a big man. So like even though he is injury prone, like I don't think like they're not getting Giannis or Joel Embiid anytime soon. They want to at least keep AD for sure. At least until 2026.
Yeah.
Until that last draft pick is settled.
Yeah, I just don't. I think it's Cap because I don't think of course, like I would say he's not the person you trade, and of course you're not trading LeBron because you're not trading LeBron James. But like from like a team standpoint, it's like why would I get rid of even though I know he's injury prone, but why would I get rid of the younger player?
Yeah. Also, he has no trade clause. He's like the only player that doesn't have no trade clause. If anything, I think because
I think him and I thought it was Bradley Beal that had him.
Bradley. Oh, okay, yeah. I thought you were saying Bradley Beal found his way to LA. I don't want Bradley Beal, man. I don't know what you're doing. I'm gonna go with Cap as well too, and I agree with everything you guys kind of said. So there's really no need to kind of expand upon that as well too. Real rapper Cap, if Clippers don't make it to the finals, they're gonna blow it up.
Yeah, that's been my point for all along. I do think that this has to be the last year. I mean, at one point, or what point do you continue to lean on older players who don't want to play back-to-backs forward into the future of your team, of your organization?
I don't want to say finals. I feel like
conference finals.
Yeah, then because you're not, again, like we were just saying, like you're not trading. If you're trading PG, you're trading Kawhi because it just doesn't make sense. Also, because Kawhi doesn't really play, so unless you're getting like a superstar player back, like if you got Kevin Durant for Paul George, okay, bet. But otherwise, it just makes sense to. And to be real, y'all are the Clippers. Y'all never have been good.
We only y'all until Kawhi leave. It's Team Spurs over here.
I didn't even mean you. I'm just saying, like, I'm talking
about Kawhi go, I go.
I'm talking about them in general.
If he was the Lakers right now, Lakers, nigga.
But yeah, no, I just mean like the team in general has never really, like, they've had periods of being regular season good. They've never really like done anything for real. So what's wrong with starting another rebuild?
Yeah, that's true. It just sucks that they're about to have that stadium. So gotta. Yeah. I mean, it's an investment, right? You eventually make that money back.
Yeah.
What's it called? No.
You talking about Golden State new shit?
No, I was going to say the Oklahoma City situation, but I mean, they had already drafted their players. They didn't necessarily blow up Seattle Supersonics before then, so never mind.
I mean, the Kings just started making money back as well, too, and they built a new stadium, so.
I mean, shoot, the Rams, I mean, I know they were
They
good,
share it with the.
But I'm just saying, this new now they suck, though.
Yeah.
So
Wash.
maybe I got stuck in a new stadium, but at least it's a new stadium.
Yeah. Get them season passes. The stadium, I mean, the arena looks pretty lit though.
It's not. Yeah.
It's dope. I like it. But
I'm interested to see how many. I mean, even with them, I want to see how many of their fans are going to travel from having been in downtown LA to come to Inglewood.
I mean, I know it's nowhere at all like Golden State, but you still got niggas from Oakland traveling across the bridge to see the Warriors play.
Yeah,
Fans
you
travel.
you got people coming internationally to see Steph Curry play though.
Yeah.
So.
It's the Clippers.
Yeah, because I think they are gonna have 18,000 at capacity.
I think like long term, it's really smart and it does help because it's already tough enough trying to get out from your being the little brother franchise.
Yeah.
But it was damn near impossible when you play in the same stadium and their banners are up there and you don't really have anything to put up there.
Nothing, nigga.
Yeah, long term, it'll help them to have their own stadium, but for the foreseeable future, I think it's just gonna also kind of pull back on their fan base because it's like, well, we was really just trying to go to Staples or Crypto, whatever.
Yeah, tickets probably still gonna be cheap. They better not make that shit expensive because they're
Clippers
out of
tickets
100%. At 100% capacity, whenever I go to the games, it be at least 15-20% of the other fans that are there, whether they're Lakers or the opposing team. That should be kind of nasty sometimes. So I'm just seeing like that shit might flop.
Exactly.
So them tickets better be cheap.
And then, I mean, damn, Kawhi not gonna be playing back to backs, bro.
Might
Might as well get a nigga that's gonna play 100%.
100%. Yeah. Any last closing remarks for 127?
Make sure y'all take care of y'all ladies out there. You know what I'm saying?
What lady?
Whatever. If y'all got girlfriends or whatever, take care of them out there, bro. And yeah, my mom's birthday is coming up. It's on the 15th.
Happy birthday.
Oh, she's a Pisces?
Yeah, I guess that's what it makes.
Yeah,
it.
my brother's birthday tomorrow.
Oh, okay, yeah. So a happy early birthday, mama. And that's it. Keep grinding.
Yeah. It was great. Enjoy everybody. Enjoy your week. Hopefully it's productive and you get some shit done. And we'll see you again next time.
Hey, you get some shit done. Facts. Get your shit done. Plan the night ahead. Grind, don't stop. Express your gratitude and stay in contact with the people that you love. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Carl Conyers. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Terrence Whaley _. This is Sirseezus. That was episode 127 of the Seezus Show. We out.